and welcome back to 843 TV. Now we are really excited to talk to Mr. Shawn Colin with the town of Hilton Head Island, the senior advisor to the town manager. And we have that hot topic to discuss today. It's the William Hilton Parkway corridor project, also known as the Bridge Project. So lots going on in our community about the discussion. Sort of break that down for us.
Well, right now, SCDOT has completed the draft environmental assessment for the project. The environmental assessment defines the purpose and need as DOT has worked through their alternatives. The purpose and need that they've defined is to replace the deficient Mackey Creek Bridge, one of the 4 bridges that links the mainland to Jenkins Island and Hilton Head, to replace the bridge and then improve congestion, or reduce congestion in the corridor. That's how they've defined the purpose and need of the project. That's what's driven their evaluation of alternatives. They've reduced the range of alternatives down to reasonable, and now they've recommended a preferred alternative, which helps them define the impacts of the corridor project that they are proposing currently. With the draft EA complete, they have started a public comment period. It began on July 7th. The draft EA and all of the technical reports and background information is now available to the general public. And they have a 45-day public comment period where they're seeking input on the preferred alternative as they've defined it. And public comments will be taken through August 22nd. But DOT, the proposed preferred alternative replaces the 4 bridges that are 2-lane in each direction with a single span bridge, 3 lanes in each direction for a 6-lane profile, and continues that 6 lanes through Jenkins Island and the Stony community to connect into the Cross Island Parkway and business route. They've defined the limits of the project from Moss Creek intersection on the mainland to the Spanish Wells Wild Horse Road intersection on Hilton Head Island.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I wanted to hear the details because I have not read the report yet, so I'm listening to this. And so right now, people have a chance to respond to what they think, and right now we understand people are responding. So with this, I mean, where could we go? I mean, it sounds like it's a reasonable solution to what we do have going on here, just because we have the volume of people. I mean, it takes us an hour to get through that corridor area. So when someone's looking, how else can they submit their suggestions to you? Is there a public meeting that's going to happen?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. SCDOT, again, will accept written comments all the way through August 22nd. You can go to their website at scdot278corridor.com. They're required to respond to written comments as part of this process before they get sign off from federal highways. And so you'll see the responses to everyone's written comments. There's also a public hearing that they have scheduled for tomorrow from 2 to 7 p.m. at the Island Rec Center at 20 Wilbourn Road on the north end of the island. From 2 to 6, it's basically a drop-in. You can ask questions, you can see schematics and information that they have available on how they've reached their preferred alternative. And starting at 6 p.m., they'll have a presentation and begin to accept public comments at the meeting. And so you can sign up through today online or before the meeting tomorrow physically at 20 Wilbourn Road. But once the public hearing is concluded, you still have until August 22nd to submit written comments, and you can do that through their website to help inform direction from where they are today until ultimately what they would recommend for the project.
Now, understand there's an independent consultant firm that you have working with the town. How does that differ or work together in conjunction with what the DOT is doing, and who has the final say?
Sure, excellent questions there. So as I mentioned before, SCDOT has defined the purpose and need to replace one deficient bridge and to reduce congestion. They've also set the limits of the project from Moss Creek to the Spanish Wells Wild Horse Road intersection. what we're trying to do is identify a proper balance of land use and mobility in a way that just doesn't move cars from point A to point B the quickest. There's a lot of local community input and concern and needs that we'd like to integrate into what DOT is currently recommending. So we are continuing to work on a technical and civic review of what DOT has proposed, really to understand a more civilized treatment, how to look at safety, how to look at quality of life, how to look at aesthetics, and not simply to move cars 10 seconds faster through a segment, but a more civilized treatment through that corridor. There may be an opportunity to offer some advice on some design elements that would be more acceptable from the community, based input. That could be, maybe it's a additional 5 seconds in that corridor, but it's travel patterns, it's aesthetics, it's quality of life that would be more suitable and acceptable on the local level. And so we're trying to put our community and our town council in a position where it's a balanced approach. We want to maintain the integrity of the goals that the DOT has to replace the efficient bridge and to reduce congestion, but to balance that with local community input and need.
Well, Shawn, I'm pleased to hear that it's such an encompassed look. It's just not, like you say, trying to get the traffic through the fastest, but all the other things we talked about. So lots of good information. Tomorrow is the public hearing. Be sure we go to visit. And I want to thank you for joining us. It's a hot topic for sure. And I will be right back with more 843 TV.